But in 1920, the English-speaking world became aware of the protocols, and immediately the sort of mass media went into actually saying, oh, it's just forgery, just a forgery, just a forgery. And this fellow you mentioned, Northcliffe, one of the most powerful people in Britain, he owned the Times and the Daily Mail. He wrote an article saying, well, what is the extraordinary prophetic power that these protocols have? Can we have some inquiry into where they came from? Because the main thing that struck everyone when they appeared in English was their prophetic nature, because the whole Bolshevik Revolution, it was evident that they had appeared totally following the instructions given in the protocols, okay? And anyone in communist Russia having a copy of the protocols, there was a death penalty, right? That was in place for about 40 years. So Lord Northcliffe called for an inquiry in an article, I think it was Daily Mail, into where these protocols had come from. What was the extraordinary knowledge knowledge of human nature they seemed to show.
And Northcliffe, do you know if he was a Freemason? Or was he Jewish?
No, he wasn't, no.
And so he wasn't Jewish and he wasn't a Freemason then?
Well, I don't know.
Right, okay, so he wants to investigate this, possibly to print about it in his newspaper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was almost the last statement printed in the British newspaper, which didn't say that it was a forgery. After that, it becomes mandatory to say it's forgery in everything published, okay? But he called for, and he obviously paid a heavy price for calling for that inquiry.
So what happened to him then?
Well, first of all, he lost control of his own newspapers. He was ousted. Then he was declared insane, literally. Some medical report claiming that he was insane. And then he got bumped off by food poisoning very soon after.
Right.
So he quickly became another prime example of the policy dictated and expounded in the protocols of how to deal with opposition.
Yeah, anyone who gets in our way will be killed. That's what it says in the protocols.
Anyway, a bit like Henry Ford, he was the most powerful man in America. He published in the Dearborn Independent, serialised the protocols and commented a lot upon them, and he was one of the last people to say that they were genuine, right?
So what year would that be, Nick?
Well, it was early around 1920s, and he had to grovel with apology. He was made to apologise for having said that and retract it, which is
Henry Ford.
Quite extraordinary, the most powerful man in America.
I've got a quote from him here, Nick.
Right, yeah.
It is too terribly real for fiction, too well sustained for speculation, too deep in its knowledge of the secret springs of life for forgery.
Yeah, I think that's a very good quote about the protocols. That was the impact they made upon him.